that this does not fall over. Hi, I'm Natasha. This is my first YouTube video ever. Not ever, but we're not going to talk about it. I didn't know how I wanted to kick off my channel. I've literally been putting this off for so long. So yeah, I kind of have an idea of the direction that I want to take this channel in. I definitely want to be doing like travel vlogs. I'm supposed to be moving away for the summer, so hopefully that all works out. I'm very into thrifting, very into music, so definitely expect like music videos, like music favorites. Not music videos, music favorites, like thrift hauls, fucking come thrifting with me. Like, I love videos like that. So yeah, I don't know, we're just gonna get into it. I figured I'd start off with a favorites, kind of get to know me, kind of like break the ice a little bit kind of video. So my name is Natasha. I grew up in a suburb just outside of Toronto. I'm 20 years old, turning 21 this year. It's gonna be my champagne birthday. I was born on May 21st, which makes me a hybrid of a Gemini and a Taurus. I was born at 2 a.m. on the day of the transition, so yeah. I was also born under a full moon, which I just found out yesterday, which is pretty wild. I have always loved music. I've gone through my phases. I've gone through my One Direction phase, okay? Right now, I would say that my favorite band is Beach House. I go through phases where I'm like listening to them for a really long time and then I kind of like get back out of it and I'm like listening to other stuff, but then I always gravitate back to them. Definitely my favorites. They're releasing new music, which is awesome. I'm so excited. Last time they were in Toronto, I could not go because it was 19 plus and I was not 19. So hopefully this time, if they announce a tour, we can go. I am moving to BC for the summer, which is gonna be crazy. I've never been there before. I haven't done too much traveling. I've been to a few places in Europe. I've been to London, I've been to Paris. London is my favorite place in the world. Been to Bermuda, I've been to Montreal. My favorite movie is Interstellar. I could honestly go on about that movie. Matthew McConaughey, Timothée Chalamet, just so good. Christopher Nolan literally killed it with that film. I watch it at least once a week. It's a super long movie, but I make time for it. Also really like I Origins with, I think it's Michael Pitt. It's super interesting. You literally can't even talk about it without giving away the movie because the whole thing is based around this huge fucking plot twist and it just is crazy. I have favorite restaurant written down here. I am vegetarian, so I guess this is a good thing to mention. But my favorite restaurant is Fresh. I think it's like a Toronto thing. I looked it up earlier. I'm like 99% sure it's a Toronto thing. It's so good. It's all vegan. They have dragon fries, which is like a take on poutine. It's like a miso gravy and like banana peppers. It's so good. So I would say that's my favorite restaurant. It's just like easy to go to like vegan or vegetarian places because I don't have just like one option on the menu, which I'm sure lots of people can relate to. My favorite store. I wouldn't really say I have a favorite store just because I barely ever like do shopping in stores. Sometimes I like buy the odd thing from like Urban Outfitters or Topshop but most of the time I am way too stingy with money when it comes to clothes and I will find things in stores like that and then just in my head I'm like, oh yeah, like I could use this, but also I could find this at Value Village. I always end up just thrifting instead, which I really like doing. So I guess I could say thrift stores are my favorite stores. I don't really have one in particular that I like the most. There's one Value Village on Bloor and Lansdowne in Toronto, and they have some pretty cool stuff usually. There's also Public Butter in Parkdale, and that's a really cool vintage store. Some of the prices are a little high. They have like graphic t-shirts, and if you find like a cool like Led Zeppelin shirt or whatever, it's usually like $30-$40, which is kind of insane. For the most part, they have really cool stuff. And then the last favorite that I'm going to talk about is books. I'm not much of a reader, I'm not gonna lie. And I don't know what happens, I just have a really short attention span, and I always end up getting like 80% of the way through, and then I don't know, I just put it down and I don't really ever get back to it. But for my favorite book, I wrote down Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. I don't know how to say her name. I wanted to read this for a super, super long time. I spent a weekend in the summer at my cousin's cottage, and on our way down to the cottage, we stopped at like an old bookstore. It's called Barely Used Books. It's in Parrytown. I got it for $2. Like, honestly, this was meant to be. You gotta finish this one. The bookmark is here, but I swear I finished it. It's really twisted and a little bit disturbing. It kind of messes with your head a lot, but it's so good. I still have yet to watch the film, but I've heard really good things. But yeah, so I would say that this is my favorite book, but I also have Flux by Orion Carlotto, which I purchased on a whim. I was going on vacation and I was like, look, I need something to read on the plane, but I also need something that is going to keep my attention span running. And so I picked this up. I really love Orion. I literally sat down that night before my flight, wasn't even on the plane, didn't even end up bringing it with me because I literally finished it in one sitting. Just cried my eyes out. It's so good. Moonlight, girl. You will just know as soon as you read it, you will just know. Please give it a read. I said literally 7 times, I do not read books, but yeah, I finished that in one sitting. It's amazing. It's the first poetry book that I've actually like gotten my hands on and read myself, and not like just stolen from a friend and read a few poems and put it back down. So I think that's it for this like favorites kind of get to know me video. I'm gonna try and upload at least once a week, maybe more if I have some ideas up my sleeve. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you would like to. That'd be so great. I don't really know how to do an outro, but we'll see what happens. And I really hope this was recording, because if it wasn't, I'm gonna cry.